Hello guys, good afternoon and welcome to my channel. The last time you saw me, it was in a video of a corset measurement. So that was a very detailed tutorial. So if you haven't really checked the tutorial out, please go and check that out before you come back to this one. Okay, because we are going to be using those guidelines here. All right. So let's begin our corset drafting. All the things we need, you need your tape measure, your ruler, your eraser, that's if you're going to use a pencil, your curved ruler, your paper, scissors, and your marker, that's if you want to use a marker. But I'm not going to use a marker, I'm going to use a pencil in this tutorial. Okay, so guys, let's begin. Okay, I'm going to begin with my starting line. Okay, so I'm going to mark a straight line, which is going to serve as my starting line. Okay, all right, now from there we are going to be marking our vertical measurement. Now the measurements I have for this vertical measurement is, I'm going to mark my cleavage line, which is 8 inches. Okay, and my bust point line from shoulder to bust point 11. We are going to be adding a yoke to this dress. Okay, so it's actually a drop shoulder sleeve or a dormant sleeve. Okay, so we are going to be adding that, so that's why I'm starting from shoulder to the cleavage to the bust point. To the under bust is 15. Okay, to my waist is 18, to my stomach is 22, and the top length is 22.75. Okay, that's the top length. So I'm not going to transfer my cleavage line here because this is going to be for the back. So I'm going to transfer my bust point, my under bust, my waist, okay, my stomach, all right, and my top length. Okay, so let's connect these points together quickly. So first of all, I'm connecting my bust point together. Now my under bust, then the waist. Okay, then finally the length of the top. Okay, so the length could be more than this, but this is where my client prefers. Okay, it could be more than this. This is what my client prefers. Okay, so assuming you are using your hip length as your top length, that way you are going to be inserting your hip measurements on that line. Okay, I'll show you, and as time goes on, we'll be having tutorials on cap, corset, and other stuff. So let's quickly label this. So I'm going to extend my cleavage line. I'm not going to extend it too much, just small like this. It's okay. Okay. So now I'm going to transfer my under bust measurement to my upper bust. Okay, so I'm just going to extend it like so. All right. So now after this point, just let's quickly label. So our shoulder, our upper bust, our cleavage, our bust, okay, our under bust, our waist, our stomach, and our top length. Okay, so let's do that to this one: bust, under bust, waist, stomach, and top length. Okay, so let's take note of this measurement. Now the next thing is just to mark the shoulder measurement. So the shoulder measurements I have for this is 7.5. Okay, so normally I mark 8 inches, which is standard for an average size woman. So 8 inches, then under that 8 inches point I'm just dropping my shoulder by 1 inch. Okay, so I'm going to mark a neckline of 3.75 inches. Okay, and I'm going to mark a depth of 4 inches for my neck depth. Okay, and then I'm just going to connect these points together. Okay, so now after connecting my neck points together, I'm just going to drop my shoulder, create my shoulder slope. I'm going to extend this because of the dormant sleeve. Okay, so I'm going to extend this, and then now the next thing is to mark our armhole line. So I'm going to do 8 inches for my armhole. So I'm marking it right under my 7.5 inches shoulder measurement. Okay, so mark your 8 inches, and then on this point, on this 8 inches point, just mark, transfer your shoulder measurement back to the side. Okay, so there, connect to your shoulder point. Okay, and once that is done, just extend it. Okay, so to be accurate, just measure whatever you have here, 2.25, and then mark it here so that you can be accurate, and just extend it. Okay, yes. So now that we have this, we will not be doing our armhole because we are going to drop our sleeve and we are going to cut together, which is called the dormant sleeve. So we are going to leave our armhole this way because this is just going to serve as a guide. Okay, so now the next thing, mark your nipple to nipple measurement, which is in her case it is 8 inches divided by 2, making 4 inches. So I'm going to transfer the points all onto these lines, but to not waste more time, I'm just going to continue marking on my top length line. I'm going to continue, which is also the same thing. You can mark on each, but from here to here is also the same thing. Okay guys, so now that we have this, I'm going to divide my shoulder measurement into two. Okay, so I'm going to divide my shoulder measurement into two like that. Then I'm going to mark. Okay, so from here I'm going to connect it straight to that point, but because I'm going to attach a yoke, I'm not going to connect it straight. I'm just going to connect it up to my upper bust line, but just this is going to serve as the reference. Okay, so that. Also, after that, all right, we are going to be taking our bust measurement. So I'm going to go in for my under bust 1.125. Okay, and then 1.125 from both sides. So these two will give me 2.25. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing on my waistline as well. 1.125. Okay, So once I have this on my top length line and my stomach line, I'm taking half an inch on both sides, half an inch on both sides. Okay, but in this case, if you want your stomach snatching more than 3 inches, you don't have to take in half an inch. You can just connect it straight to your top length line. Okay, so that there will be more space around the stomach to accumulate the excess weight that is going to, drop in and out. All right, so if you watch my measurement video, you know what I'm talking about. So from there, I'm going to connect my darts together. I'm going to connect them together. Sorry guys, there is a background noise, and I hope you pardon me and you focus on what I'm doing. Okay, I'm not using a mic, but I'm talking really on top of my voice so that you guys can hear what I have to say. Okay, so now that this is done, I'm going to go up for my bust by 1 inch and down for my bust by 1 inch as well, and I'm going to connect this point with a curved nail. Okay, okay, so now remove all the sharp edges from your underbust and your from your underbust. Okay, just remove that sharpness from there. Let me use my razor to do a little bit of cleaning so that you guys can see. Okay, so once that is done, on your upper chest line, just take the same 1.125 here and do the same thing on the other side. So now we are going to connect it. You can do a straight row, but I'm just going to, use this to connect. Okay, because even if I connect it a straight row, let me show you, I'll still have some glitches here, which I'll still need to take care of with my curved rule. So I'll just go in with my curved ruler. So I'm just going in to blend every like unwanted sharp corner here. All right. So take care of all your sharp corners. So now that we are done, we are going to go to our cleavage. Okay, I'm going to connect from here. So I'm going to mark 3/4 inches in here, and then from here I'm going to connect straight to that point. Okay, and now I'm going to drop my cleavage by something small, not too much. Okay, yes. So this is what we have. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mark my bust measurement. So on my bust line, I'm marking um, quarter of my bust plus this 2.25 we took out. Okay, all right. So I'll come to my top length. So on my top length, the measurement around there is 11 inches. Okay, and then plus this half inch that we took out, a 1 inch, sorry, on both sides, so making 12. All right, yes. So now that we are done, we are coming now to our under bust and waistline. So for my under bust line and my waistline, I have 34 inches. Okay, it's the same. My under bust record and my waistline record is the same. So here I'm going to mark my 34 inches divided by 4. But remember, I said we'll be contouring the waistline, and also you can't contour the waistline and leave the under bust line. You have to contour the two. Okay, so I'm going to be subtracting 2 inches from all the measurements on my waist and my under bust. So my waist measurement, right, my under bust measurement is 34, minus 2 will give me 32, so divided by 4 will give me 8 inches. Okay, and I'm going to add my um, that allowance back. Okay, so now here is it, and I'll do the same thing to my waist. So this is my 8 inches plus my that allowance. Okay, so now that we have this, I'm just going to divide my panel. Okay, now how do I divide my panel? Definitely if you divide the panel, you're going to take your dart out from that panel. Okay, so if you divide the panel straight without taking the dart, it's not going to like really like look nice. Okay, so you need to like contour that panel as well, so you can't cheat yourself here. Okay, so whatever you're going to take out from that you're going to add it back. Okay, so I'm going to do 1.5 inches for my dart intake for the third panel we are going to create for the front. So from that 1.5, and now I'm going to connect from my bust point, okay, to my waist, and then to my top length. Okay, all right. So now just extend this up, because definitely whatever you have under your bust should be also on the armhole line. Okay, so just add it back to that place. And now that we are done, I'm just going to create another panel. I'm going to look for the midpoint between this and this. Okay, and then whatever I get, I'm just going to, because it's not straight. Okay, it's not straight, so you can measure from whatever you have here to here. This is a 8.625. You can transfer your 8.625 here. Okay, then you connect. Okay, so after connecting, do the same thing for here, 8.625, and connect. Okay, so on my back side, remember I added 1.5. Okay, that 1.5, I'm going to take it back for my my front. Okay, so 1.5 divided by 2, okay, it's going to give me 3/4 inches on both sides. Okay, so I'm going to mark my 3/4 inches on both sides, like so. Okay, then on this part, I'm just going to mark the 1/4 inches on each side. Okay, so just extend the line. So I'm going to mark a 1/4 inches on each side, like so, and I'm going to connect. Okay, so on the under bars, I'm going to do the same thing. On the other bars, I'm going to do this. I'm going to mark 3/4 inches on both sides, and I'm going to connect. Okay, so now I'm just going to extend my, so just extend your line up. Okay, extend this line up. Now you are going to create your neckline, okay, for this side. So I'm going to just transfer wherever my bust measurements stop. So it's 10 inches, my bust divided by 4. So just transfer your quarter of your bust measurement on your armhole, and of course plus your that allowance, and then from there this is going to serve as the point. So from there, just you can just come up by 2 2.25 and then connect to your side seam like that, and then I'll flip this over and then connect. But before you connect, you have to cross check from here to here and see whether it's the same as here. If it's not the same, just transfer whatever you have from here to here, then you can now blend to your side. Okay, so I have 4 inches here. I'm going to transfer my 4 inches to this side as well. Okay, so now from here I'm going to connect to this point. Okay, all right, so now this is our side seam. You know our side seam now. So now to connect to your dormant sleeve, you need to know the length of your sleeve. So assuming you are attaching the sleeve, you'll be attaching it from here. Okay, from here, from your armhole area. So now the length of my dormant sleeve is 6 inches. Okay, so now that I have my 6 inches, I'm now going to cross check from here to here and see if I have my round. And I'm now going to put in my round sleeve measurement from here to here. So my round sleeve measurement is 13.25. Okay, so I'm just going to transfer it from here to here. 13.25. I'm going to transfer it. So here is my 13.25. Okay, so now you connect it. Just do some slight change here. Just connect it from your shoulder to this point. Okay, so now this is going to be your new line. So now you can connect from here to either this place, or you can come in by 1 inch more or 3/4 inches, and then you connect. But I'm just going to connect it to my side seam like so. Okay, so this is our yoke. Okay, front. Okay, front yoke. We're going to cut ×2 of this. Okay, for our yoke. All right, so now let's continue with now that we have our neckline and we've extended our line, we are just going to connect from this point to this point. Okay, okay, so quickly you can label your panels. So this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. This is how I label mine. So you can do yours A, B, and C, or center, middle, and side. Anyhow you want it, it's okay. So now I'm going to indicate that this should be laid. This is going up. Okay, this is how my panel should be placed. Okay, so if you don't do it like that, maybe you get confused, especially with the back one. Okay, then with this side that really has no like neckline and the back area showing, you can use this one here. So now definitely this dart here is going to alter your measurement, so just add it back. Okay, so this is half an inch, just add it back. Okay, and then connect. Okay, so this will now not alter your measurement in any way. Okay, so after connecting it back on, okay, you just have to like shape the bottom side. Okay, so I'm going to come up by 1.5 inches. Okay, and from there I'm going to create the shape that I want for my bottom side. Okay, okay, so you create the shape that you want for the bottom side. You can even come down a bit more. You can even go up much more. So anyhow you really want to do it, it's up to you. Okay, so now we are done with our front. Okay, so we are going to cut two of this. Okay, because we are going to um double the yoke. Okay, we're going to double the yoke. Now let's move to the back. I think we are done. Yes, so let's move to the back. So for my back, I'm going to begin with my neck and shoulder width as well. My neck is 3.75 inches. My shoulder is 7.5 plus my 8 inches standard. Don't forget that. And then from that 8 inches points, you drop by 1 inch. Okay, just drop by 1 inch. And then the neck depth, this neck depth we are not going to use, but for tutorial purpose, I'm just going to construct my back neckline as well. Okay, now I'm going to drop my shoulder. From there, from that point, I'm just going to connect this and then continue down with a straight line like so. Okay, so now the next thing is to tackle our armhole, which is 8 inches. Okay, for armhole. And then on that point, okay, I'm going to mark my 7.5 inches. I'm going to transfer my shoulder measurement on that point. Okay, so just connect your shoulder points together to create your armhole. Of course, this is just a guide, so then you just, you know, extend your armhole to create the armhole line that we want. So now for the back, it's going to be a little different than the front, so please pay attention. So this is my center back. Now from there I'm going to mark. So if you want to add zipper allowance, just, you know, add your 1 inch for your zip. Okay, all right. So I'm going to mark quarter of my bust measurement here, 10 inch. And then I'm going to mark my measurements I had here. Remember, I marked 11 inches for quarter of this, so that is 11 inches here. Okay, and then for now we are going to leave this like so, and then I'm going to transfer my 10 inches here and also my 10 inches, that's my bust measurement here. So just connect these points together, connect it together. Okay, connect it together like so. All right, so now that we are done, i'm going to mark my nipple to nipple measurement. You can just go ahead and divide your 10 into 3. Okay, so divide this into 3, or you can mark your, you know, your bust point measurement. Okay, so mark your bust point measurement, which is 4 inches from your center back, which I am going to do it that way. Maybe as time goes on, I'm going to use that method, like dividing my measurement into 3 equally from the back. Now from there, I'm not going to find the midpoint between this and this and then mark. Okay, so please make sure you extend this line. Okay, extend them. Okay, so now that we have this, I'm going to take half an inch here, half an inch here on my waistline, half an inch on my under bust. Okay, so now we'll leave this like this, and then we'll tackle our neckline. Okay, so for my neckline, I'm going to come up by half inch from my back neckline, and I'm going to connect from this my from my side seam to my half an inch. Okay, all right. So now that I've gotten my neckline now, I can connect my bust, because you don't want to extend your bust to where it is not needed. Okay, so I can now connect my dart. Okay, you don't want to extend your dart, sorry, to where it's not needed. Okay, so now connect your dart like so. So now for this one, I'm going to do a 1/4 inches on both sides. Okay, giving me half an inch, and also the same thing on my top line because it's just close. Okay, so after you have your first dart taken, now go ahead and then measure quarter of your waist measurement, which is 8 inches. Now plus this dart that we've taken out. Okay, so plus the dart we've taken out, now we have 9 inches. So just mark the 9 inches here like so. Do the same thing for your under bust. Mark your 9 inches. So now these are the two places you're going to be contouring. So on the under bust now, okay, on this under bust now, I'm going to measure whatever I have here. The excess I have here is 1 inch. So I have 1 inch here. Okay, I'm going to do 3/4 inches on this side. So if I take my 3/4 inch measurement and I divide it into two, I'm going to mark my 3/4 here. So in total I have 3/4. Okay, and the rest of the quarter I'm going to take it at the side. Okay, now so this measures up to 1 inch now. So from the 3/4 plus our quarter, which makes 1 inch. So let me just put this. So this is 3/4. Okay, let me just hold it and then continue from there. So you see that gives us our 1 inch that we are looking for. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing here. Okay, so I'm going to mark 3/4 here and 3/4 here, and then I'm going to do a quarter here as well. Okay, this helps to shape your corset. All right, so from here now just connect. But if you like, you can just do the half inch on both sides, making the 1 inch. But I want to like tone my corset, like contour it very well. That's why I'm doing it this way. Okay, so if you want, you can leave yours as it is. Okay, and then just mark your 1 inch on both sides. So I'm going to do 1.125 on both sides. Okay, leaving me 1/4 inches in total. Okay, all right, now that we have our new point, our new dart, let's just blend this from the top here. Okay, to our new dart, and to our new dart. Okay, so you can clean this up. But like I said, you can decide not to shape yours like this. You can decide to leave it like you want. All right, so this is our corset. Now we are going to be reducing, that spacing that gives way for the underlay to show, or the overlay to show. Okay, so that spacing I'm just going to do um 1 inches for the spacing. This side is going to be 1 inch, the other side 1 inch, so together 2 inches. Okay, you can do 2 inches, 2 inches on all the sides, and then because you are doing 2 inches, the spacing at the back will be 4 inches. So you can do 1.5 on both sides. Now we have 2 inches. So however you prefer, you can do it that way. Okay, so now I'm going to connect. I'm going to connect. Now back to our original neckline for the back. Okay, I'm now going to connect to this new 1 inch point that I have made. Okay, so I'm just from the nape of my neck to this new point that I have made. Okay, so now this is our yoke for the back. Okay, this is our yoke. So we are going to cut 4 of this. So cut times 4, 2 for each side. Okay, now we are going to mark our round sleeve measurement after we have marked our 6 inches sleeve length. Okay, okay, so now that we have our 6 inches sleeve length, I'm just going to mark my round sleeve, that is 13.25 divided by 2. I'm just going to mark it on this line. Okay, so you cross check from your side seam, and then now you drop it to this point. Okay, you can't leave it like that. If you leave it like that, it's going to be hanging. Okay, so you can't leave it like that. So extend this to new shoulder line, and then now mark your 6 inches here. Okay, yes, all right. So now connect, okay, to your side seam. Like I said, for the front, you can come in by 1 inch, but when you mind you, when you come in, it's going to alter your bicep. Okay, your bicep round. So when you come in, let me demonstrate to you. So let's assume I come in by 3.25 inches for the side. Now I'm going to mark from here to here. Okay, so I'm going to mark or transfer my sleeve measurement from that point, okay, to up like so. So you see that you need to drop it more to meet that point. You need to mark your drop it more and then mark your sleeve length there, and then from your sleeve length you now go ahead and mark the measurements you have, that is here. Okay, then you connect to this point. All right, so you see it has dropped more the moment you came in. It has dropped more. So when you want to come in, just mind you that you have to take the measurement from that point up. Okay, your bicep, that is this side, the round is this side, you have to take it from this point up. Then you can now extend your line to meet that point. Okay, so I hope I've made myself clear here. I'm going to label it once again. This is my center back, so that is 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and my yoke is going to be cut by 4. So now I'm going to indicate my arrows that my pattern should be placed like this. Okay, now the next thing is to come up by the side of your seam and then create that that shape you want. Okay, okay, just like I dropped this side. So you can do whatever you want, it's your own pattern. So as time goes on there, I'm going to be showing you how to get more snatch effect. Okay, now remember we are going to be adding some allowances to this. So 0.5 inch. My pencil is on, so that my 0.5 inch, 0.5, so you don't forget. Okay, just mark. So if you remember, that's nice, that's fine. Okay, all around your pattern, 0.5 inch, 0.5 inch, to join them. Okay, okay, all around your pattern, just add 0.5 inch for your yoke. Okay, and yes, that's all. All right, so this brings us to the end of our corset drafting for this particular corset. So one thing I forgot to tell you, okay, for the neckline for this one. So after cutting this, now we are going to alter this place. Remember, we are going to close this by 2.25. Okay, so now you're going to subtract 2.25 from your yoke. Okay, because if you don't subtract, it's not going to fit or add up. Okay, so subtract that 2.25 after closing this one, and then now you can just connect this to this like so. Okay, so after connecting, just check. All right, so check your sleeve measurement. Okay, and then connect from your shoulder point to your armhole point to that point. So okay, yes, so after doing that, you are okay with your mastic. Because if you don't remove this out now, when you join this, okay, when you join this right now, let's say you are going to short, like you are not going to really get the actual thing you want. Okay, let me demonstrate this to you so that you can see it well. So you see now it matches up to your side seam. Okay, so just trim it out first and then drop and subtract it from it, because all these excesses are not parts. So you see why it's always good to stick onto a video to the end and not skip any part. You guys would have missed this part. So I'm going to be uploading the sewing tutorial to next week. So you're going to catch up next week for the sewing of this concept. It's going to be really, really exciting. Okay, so just go and then grab yourself a fresh pattern paper, a pencil, an eraser, so that you can be able to clean if you have any mistakes, and also check out the video and practice whatever I've taught you today. The next time I'll see you, you are also on your fabric and we are about to sew. Okay, so thank you for joining me today. It's still your girl Anne, and this is the Anne's World.